Friday the 13th here to Symmes Valley Viking Field. Here tonight for the varsity matchup between the Symmes Valley Vikings and the Chesapeake Panthers here in the backyard rivalry. Here in Lawrence County off the State Route 141 out here in Willow Wood, Ohio. We're playing in front of a packed house tonight. We got several fans on the Viking side, several fans on the Panther side. Right now, coming into the season right now, the Symmes Valley Vikings are running at a 2-0 season right now with wins over South Gallia and Fairfield Christian Academy. Chesapeake Panthers are coming into a 1-1 season, looking to get their second win of the season coming into this game. Now, the Chesapeake Panthers are also from the OVC Conference, and the Symmes Valley Vikings are from the SOC 1 division. We appreciate you tuning in with us here. And right now, the Chesapeake Panthers are taking the field on the visiting side. Fans are on their feet. And it looks like the Panthers have come to play today. This here's been a backyard rivalry here in Lawrence County here for quite some time. I know back into the 80s there this has began. Chesapeake has been pretty dominant in this series, but the Symmes Valley Vikings have usually pulled up the upset when they've least expected it. So this ought to be a good game here this evening here. Now tonight's football game here, the Symmes Valley Vikings are head coached by Rusty Webb with assistant coaches of John Correll, Brad Nelson, Eric Holland, Kyle Meadows, Ben Ferguson, John Shepard, Terry Saunders. Film was also given by John Sharp. The head coach for the Chesapeake Panthers is Todd Nipp with his assistant coaches of Rick Clark, Bob McAllister, Aaron Rice, Ryan Summers, Brendan Meadows, Chris Ball, George Long, and Tim Boggs. Once again, this game is going to be brought to you from Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And it sounds like the Symmes Valley Viking band is firing up, and it looks like our Symmes Valley Vikings are coming onto the field. Once again, the Vikings are off to a hot start this season with a 2-0 winning record right now. Looking to extend their winning record to a 3-0. Looks like the Panthers are taking the field to receive the kick. Back deep, it looks like there's Lucas Shepard, the number 6, the number 4 of Will Todd, and I believe that's the number 3 of Carson Nida. Gavin Yates, the number 51, will be kicking off for the Symmes Valley Vikings. Gavin Yates is only a sophomore for the Vikings. Has definitely been a dominating player here for the defense and offense for the Vikings. So he'll be one you'll be hearing about tonight. And there's the kick. It's low and going to the number 12 of Thomas Sentz. And he's tackled immediately there by a swarm of the Vikings. And it looks like the Chesapeake Panthers will be taking over right around their own 38-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Chesapeake. Looks like the Panthers going to have the ball right at the 39-yard line. Donald Richendaler, number 14, with a keeper. Gets brought down immediately in the backfield by the number 82 of Christian Gilbert for the Symmes Valley Vikings. It'll be no gain on the play. It'll be set up 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. And the number 5, Cameron Harless, is on the big carry. He's got a big yardage, and he's going down the sideline. And he takes it to the end zone, but there's laundry on the field. Several flags brought out there on the field. And it looks like it's going to be some holding calls against the Chesapeake Panthers. And the referees will discuss the penalties. It'll be holding against the offense of Chesapeake. It's going to set them back quite a few yards. It's going to set second long for the Panthers. But the Vikings have got to see what can happen if they don't pick up that tackle. So it looks like the number 4 of Will Todd is on the carry, and he's taking off down the other side. And they're trying to bring him down with the number 3 of Luke Leith. Pushes him out of bounds. But it's going to be a huge carry for the Panthers, bringing them down into the side of the Vikings field. And it's going to bring up, of course, a 1st and 10 for the Panthers. And the Panthers go up the middle. That is the number 2 of Logan Walsh. Brought down by number 7 of Jack Leith. And it's about a 9-yard gain on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 1 for the Panthers. Deep into Viking territory. And the number 5 of Harless with the carry, brought down by Jack Leith again. And it looks like it's going to be a good enough carry for a 1st down for the Panthers. Looks like he gained about 3 on the play, so it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Panthers deep in the red zone. Logan Walsh with the carry. Short gain on the play. Tackle made in there by Luke Leith of the Vikings. The Panthers are going to be setting up on the 10-yard line. They've got about 7 yards to go for the 1st down. And the handoff, and there's a fumble on the play. There's a fumble on the play, and several players are going to be jumping in on top of that. And it looks like the Symmes Valley Vikings rallied up and have taken the control of the ball there. They've stopped the Panthers from making it into the end zone. That brings the Viking fans up. Now with the change of possession there, the Vikings are going to be in their own red zone, but they're going to be taking it back toward the Panther end of the field. Jack Leith under center. With a big handoff there to number 1 of Josh Ferguson. Big carry on the play, gain of about 8 yards on the play. He was brought down by Richendaler of the Panthers. Good yardage play for the Vikings. Bring up 2nd and about 1. And it's a handoff to number 1 of Josh Ferguson again, and they're running way down in the backfield. Not the direction I'm sure Rusty wanted to go with the Vikings here. Huge loss on the play. Tackle made in there by Walsh. A huge setback for the Vikings. They're going to have to fight their way back out of this. It'll bring up 3rd and long for Symmes Valley. I believe that's number 29 on the carry. Ethan Patterson with the carry. Gain on the play of about 7. It's going to bring up 4th and about 3 for the Vikings. The tackle was made in there for the Panthers by Will Todd. And it looks like they may be setting up for a punt for the Vikings. Back deep for the Panthers is going to be number 5 of Cameron Harless and the number 8 of Brady Wilson. And it's going to be a timeout. Symmes Valley. We'll be right back here with the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And we're back here with 7:18 left in the first quarter with no score from either side of the Panthers or the Vikings. Right now, the Vikings look to be set up for the punt. Number 5 of Cameron Harless back deep. Jack Leith back for the Vikings for the punt. Good snap, and it's a very good punt. And it looks like it's going to run out of bounds. It's been kicked out. And the referee will step it off. And it looks like the Panthers will be taking over on the Viking 45. We'll see if the Vikings can make another stand as they did the last round. They're not letting the Panthers into the end zone. But I'm sure the Panthers this time are going to be trying to drive it back down this way. Number 5 of Harless with a big carry. There he goes. He's taking off for the races. He's getting chased, and he's still fighting it down. Finally brought down by Jack Leith and the number 9 of Levi Neese. With a big carry for the Panthers. Going to also bring them right back down into the red zone where they finished up last round. This time the Panthers looking to punch it in and get the first points on the board. Let's see if the Viking defense can make another stand there to keep the Panthers from being victorious with this score drive. The number 4 of Will Todd with a big carry. He's getting chased down, and it looks like he's into the end zone. Touchdown. Chesapeake Panthers put the first bite on the board. At 6:38 left in the first quarter, the Panthers put the first points up on the board. Number 8 of Brady Wilson will be setting up for the extra point conversion. And the kick is up. And it's good. The Panthers will take the lead with a 7-0 lead at 6:38 in the first quarter. The Vikings will strike back when they get the ball kicked to them here shortly. Once again, we'll take us a little quick break here. You're on the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. We'll be right back. And we're back here to the Symmes Valley Viking field here with the Chesapeake Panthers versus the Symmes Valley Vikings here in Willow Wood, Ohio. Back deep for the Vikings is, looks like Leith, Jack Leith, and it looks like also Neese back there deep for the Vikings. And there's the kick. Number 29 of Ethan Patterson picks it up, takes off for a good carry. A good return on the play. And it looks like the Vikings will set up 1st and 10 right around the 29-yard line. The last time the Panthers, they held the Vikings to just a few yards and a couple yards of a loss on a couple plays. Let's see if their defense is going to stay strong or see if the Viking offense can move the ball down the field and get also back on the board. And there's a jump on the line, flag on the play, and it's going to be a false start against the Vikings. Not the way the Vikings want to start off. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Vikings. Puts them right around their own 24. And they're trying to push up the middle. Neese on the carry there for the Vikings. Stopped at the middle of the line. Short gain maybe of a yard, yard and a half on the play. Tackle was made in there by Blackburn. That's number 70. That's Hunter Blackburn, a 6'2" junior for the Panthers. And the number 1 of Josh Ferguson for the Vikings with a carry, but there's some laundry on the field. And it's going to be a chop block against the offense of the Vikings. It's going to still be second down, but it's going to be second and very long for the Vikings, as they're back right around the 14-yard line, having to get up around the 39 to get to the first down. So it'll be second and long for the Vikings. They come up to the line. Panther defense looking to make a stop. Leith is up under for the shotgun. He steps back and he takes off with the keeper. And goes to the sideline to get shoved out of bounds by several of the Panther players. It's a short gain on the play. It'll bring up some of the yardage that they lost, but not going to be very much. It's going to be third and long. Number 3 of Luke Leith going into the game. Symmes Valley Vikings line up. They look like they're going with a little bit of a spread offense. Jack Leith takes the snap. He's looking downfield. He tucks it and has to go, but he is brought down by the number 3 of Carson Nida. And that's not going to be good enough to make up the yardage, so it's going to bring up 4th and long. Looks like the Vikings might have to set up for the punt. Cameron Harless looks like he's going back deep for the Panthers. And also the number 8 of Brady Wilson. Or excuse me, that's the number 2 of Logan Walsh going back deep for the Panthers. And Jack Lee's kick is up, and it's picked up by the number 5 of Cameron Harless, and he takes off to the opposite side of the field. He's got room to go, and he could be going all the way with many blockers in his path. He is taking it to the end zone. It's going to be another Chesapeake Panther touchdown. So the Panthers strike for the second time here in the first quarter with 4:27 left in the first. And number 8 of Brady Wilson will set up for the extra point. Oh, and it was almost blocked, but the kick is good. And the Chesapeake Panthers will take the lead here in the first quarter with a 14-0 lead over our Symmes Valley Vikings. We'll be right back here on the Armstrong Sports Neighborhood Channel. And we're back here at the Symmes Valley Viking field out in Willow Wood, Ohio. The Chesapeake Panthers right now are with a lead of 14-0 in the first quarter over the Symmes Valley Vikings. The Panthers are setting up for the kickoff. The number 8 of Brady Wilson will set up the kick for the Panthers. Back deep for the Vikings is Josh Ferguson. And it looks like Ethan Patterson and also Leith. Jack Leith for the Vikings. And the kick is up. And it's a good kick going right into Patterson. And it bounces off his hands. He picks it back up and he takes off, but he's going to only get about a yard more of a gain out of the play. He is brought down immediately by the Panthers. Now the Vikings will set up with a 1st and 10 right around the 12-yard line, maybe the 13. Let's see if the Vikings can get their momentum picked up and get back on the field here to maybe get some points on the board. Tanner McComas down on the ball. Jack Leith back up for the shotgun. And it's a keeper. And he's going to be brought down with a short yardage gain. Brought down by number 54 of R.J. Ward. And it's going to bring up about 2nd and 6 for the Symmes Valley Vikings. Leith under center. And the handoff to Patterson. And it looks like they tackled in there by Logan Walsh for the Panthers. And that's going to set up about a 3rd and a long 5. Number 82 of Christian Gilbert into the game. And the Vikings rush up to the ball. There's only about 3 seconds left on the play clock. And they get the snap in time. Leith with the pass. Ethan Patterson with a gain on the play. But it looks like he's going to be just about 2 yards short of the first down. It'll bring up 4th and 2. So the Panther defense playing strong tonight. Vikings not having much luck getting the ball moved down the field. But Jack Leith will be set back to punt for the Vikings. And the number 5 of Cameron Hartless back deep for the Panthers. Leith with the punt. It's up and it's coming toward the sidelines. And it's going to roll. Looks like it's going to roll dead right around the 43-yard line. Just shy of the 43.
And it's going to take him about the 38-yard line. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give away a couple gift cards, couple prizes here. The first one is going to be a cash card, $25.
Now the Chesapeake Panthers are going to take over 1st and 10 on their side of the field.
Program number 109. Program 109, you're the winner of the $25 cash card from Speedway.
Let's see if the Viking defense will pick up the momentum. Maybe put a stop on the advance of the Panthers here and hopefully get back up onto the floor on the board. And there's a short gain on the play for the Panthers. Brought up the middle. Looks like about a gain of 3, maybe 4 yards on the play. It'll bring up second and about 7. And the handoff. It's pitched out to number 4 of Will Todd, and he's taken up the sidelines. Pushed out of bounds by Josh Ferguson. He gets to midfield for the Panthers. That's going to be good enough for a Panther first down. And the Panthers hand off to number 5 of Cameron Harless, and he's taken off to the races again. And he's brought down by the number 3 of Luke Leith and the number 51 of Gavin Yates. That's going to be good enough for a Panther first down into the Viking territory, right around the 28-yard line, or the 23-yard line, excuse me.
Looking for program 134. The winner of the $20 cash card, courtesy of Hazel Humphrey.
Panthers are set up. Richendaler under center. Steps back with a handoff to the number 5 of Harless. And he is brought down. Tackle made in there by Leith and Mullins of the Vikings defense. It'll be a short gain on the play, bring up second and 5 for the Panthers. Donald Richendaler under center for the Panthers with the handoff to number 2 of Logan Walsh. And he is brought down.
Logan Walsh on the carry of the Panthers.
Brought down by a boatload of the Vikings there. But it looks like it's going to be good enough for a first down for the Panthers. Panthers are up for a first and 10. It's a keeper by Richendaler, and he's taking it all the way to the end zone and scores again for the 3rd time here in the first quarter. The Panthers taking a controlling lead here in the first quarter, leading now the Vikings 20-0 with 4.2 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The number 8 of Brady Wilson lines up for the extra point. And the kick is up. And it's good, but there is a flag on the play. And it looks like it's going to be a false start against the offense of the Panthers. That's going to move him back about 5 yards, make the kick just a little bit harder, but it looked like he had plenty to clear it. So the number 8 of Brady Wilson will also line up once again for the extra point. Another flag on the play. And it's against the Vikings this time, so it looks like it's going to move the ball right back to where we started. Number 8 of Brady Wilson is getting a little bit of practice here on this kick, so for the 3rd time, let's see if he keeps it through the uprights. And the kick is up, And it's good. No flags on the play, so it looks like the Panthers are going to take the lead with the 21-0 here in the first quarter. We'll be right back with the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Back deep now for the Vikings, going to be Jack Leith. Looks like the number 29 of Ethan Patterson and the number 1 of Josh Ferguson's back deep for the Vikings. And the number 8 of Brady Wilson set up to kick for the Panthers. And the kick is up. Got good distance. The number 29 of Patterson picks it up and brings it back for about a 10-yard gain on the return. Yeah, brought down by Nida. Carson Nida, the number 3 of the Chesapeake roster. So now the Vikings will set up 1st and 10 right around the 22-yard line. And that'll be the end of the first quarter now with the Symmes Valley Vikings running with a 0, the Chesapeake Panthers 21. We'll be right back. We are the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And we're back here to the start of the second quarter. Chesapeake Panthers leading now with a 21-0 lead. The Vikings have the ball. It's a 1st and 10 right around the 28 or 24-yard line. Let's see if the Vikings can shake this Friday the 13th Black Cat off their back here and get this ball moving. And here looks like to be a good start right here with Jack Leith with a good carry, good gain on the play. Brought down by the number 35 of the Panthers, which is Ian Hicks. Gain of about 5 on the play, so it'll bring up 2nd and 5 for the Vikings. So that is a good start here for the second quarter. Leith up under center. Handoff to Patterson. And there's another good gain there again for the Vikings. Brought down by a pack of the Panthers. And it's a Viking first down, so it looks like the Vikings have come out to play this quarter. See if they can even up the odds a little bit here. It's a good fired up here now in the second quarter. The number 72 of Tanner Sparkplug McComas there on the ball. And the snap to Leith with a handoff to the number 1 of Ferguson. And he's tackled immediately by the number 65, Nick Burns of the Panthers. But it is a gain of about 2 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Vikings. Vikings picking up momentum here in the second quarter. Looking to move the ball down to the end zone. Leith under center.
You gotta run, Crumb.
Looks like he's handed off to Neese for the Vikings. Once again, another short gain on the play. And once again, tackle made in there by a pack of the Panthers. Looks like Crum in there with the lead. It'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the Vikings. Or excuse me, that was Derek Crum with the carry. Tackle made in there by the pack of the Panthers. With a 3rd and 6 for the Vikings. Looking to get momentum to push downfield. Leith under center. Hand off to Ferguson of the number 1 for the Vikings. And he fights for gain yardage. It's going to set up 4th down and about 4 on the 40 for the Vikings. It looks like the Vikings are going to set up to punt. Back deep is the number 2 and 5 of Logan Walsh and Cameron Harless for the Panthers. Lee's kick is a squib kick off to the sidelines. It looks like it's probably going to be stepped back off to be a short kick. And it's going to end up right around the Chesapeake 49, or the 46.
Program number 179, girl on the clock. 5 more minutes. We'll call another number. It's a $25 gift card. Compliment at Real Exam Floyd, Lawrence County Educational Service Center Board. Program was number 179. You're on the board.
And right now we have the coaches meeting here in the middle of the field.
151. You're the winner of an 18.
And we're back here at the Symmes Valley Viking field with 9:01 left in the second quarter,
151.
with the Chesapeake Panthers leading the Vikings 21-0. And they have the ball right now, 1st and 10, right around their own 45. Panthers come up to the line. Rich and Dollar under center. Handoff to the number 5 of Cameron Harless, who's been having a big game, and it looks like he's going to have another big gain right here. He is still fighting for yardage. Tackle made for a Luke Leith for the Vikings, but good enough for a huge first down for the Panthers. As Cameron Harless having a huge game here, gaining several yards on every carry. The Viking defense having a hard time trying to stop him. Panthers come up to the offensive line. Rich and Dollar under center. It's a handoff to the number 2 of Logan Walsh, and he's right up the middle, and he's into the end zone. Once again, touchdown Chesapeake Panthers.
Program 151. He just come up to the announcer's booth. You're the winner of 18 2 items. Princeton, bag of chips and pop. Got down Princeton.
Number 8 of Wilson set up for the extra point. And there's going to be a flag on the play. False start on the Vikings. And it'll march the ball up about half the distance to the goal line. So making the kick just a little bit shorter for Wilson this time. And the kick is up. And it's good. The Chesapeake Panthers will take the lead, or keep hold of the lead there, I should say, for 28-0 over our Symmes Valley Vikings with the second quarter of 8:18 left to go. And we're back here with the second quarter of 8:18 left in the first half. The Panthers are leading the Vikings 28-0. The Panthers will be setting up for the kick, and back deep will be Leith for the Vikings. And Josh Ferguson and Patterson back deep for the Vikings. The number 8 of Wilson will be kicking off for the Panthers. Now the Vikings, last time they had the ball, was moving the ball pretty well, but come up to a halt with the Panther defense standing strong. making the Vikings punt. Maybe the Vikings can shake this off their back and hopefully get into this game and hopefully get some points on the board. We've got laundry on the field. And evidently the penalties against the Chesapeake Panthers. Not real clear what's happened there, but they will be set back another 5 yards, which actually helps out the Vikings a little bit. Wilson set up for the kick. And the kick is deep. Picked up by Patterson. He's gaining a few yards here on the return. And it brings it up right around the 26-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Symmes Valley as they take over the ball here with 8:10 left to go in the second quarter. Ferguson and Burnside in there for the tackle for the Panthers. Right now it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings on their own 26-yard line. Leith up under center with the handoff. No, it looks like it's going to be a keeper. And he breaks free. And he's still charging hard. And he gets a good first down run out of the carry. Crosses over right around the 41-yard line. Good carry for Jack Leith there for the Vikings, getting the fans fired back up. Tackle made by Hicks and Burns there for the Panthers. Vikings will have 1st and 10 on their own 40. Trying to get deep into the Panther territory and bring some points up on the board. Leith with the keeper. And another good gain on the play. Jack Leith with the carry for the Vikings. Gaining yardage on the play. Looks like he marches up to about the 46-yard line, so he's going to have about 2nd and maybe 3 for the Vikings. So the Vikings charging hard here in the second quarter. Hopefully shaking this Friday the 13th off their hands and get some points up on the board. Leith with the keeper, and he pushes it clear across the 50 with the gain over into the Panther territory. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Symmes Valley. Symmes Valley making a charge here in the second quarter, looking good here. Hopefully keep momentum going. He was shoved out of bounds by several of the Chesapeake players. Leith with the handoff to Ferguson. He's brought down by the number 44 of Hutchinson, Justice Hutchinson. Gain of about 1 on the play, bring up 2nd and 9 for the Vikings. The number 2 of Caleb Mullins into the game for the Vikings. Vikings up to the line. And it was a fumbled snap, but picked back up by Leith. who pushes it ahead and gains about a yard, yard and a half on the play. It'll bring up third and about 7 on the play.
Program 125. You got 2 minutes. You're the winner of a $20 cash card. Compliment of Rosa Hazel Humphrey, Windsor Township Physical Officer.
With 5:47 left to go in the second quarter here, Panthers still leading 28-0 over the Vikings. But Vikings are moving the ball this go round, and they are in Chesapeake Panther territory. It's third and about 7 here on the play. Leith gets up under center. And there's going to be a flag on the play. The number 9 of Levi Neese looks to be jumped off sides. Not what the Vikings wanted to do here, but it'll bring up third and long now for the Vikings, as they're set back right around close to the 50. The Vikings up to the line. There's the snap, and it's a quick pass, and it's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and long for the Vikings. Right around the 49 of the Panthers. And the Vikings send on the punt team. Back deep for the Panthers is the number 2 of Logan Walsh and the number 5 of Cameron Harless. Both players having a good game today. And the kick is squibbed kick. And it's going to be a short punt. And the Panthers are going to take over 1st and 10 right around the 35, 36 yard line. And they'll take over 1st and 10 with a 5:12 left in the second quarter and the lead of 28-0 over the Symmes Valley Vikings. Panthers up to the line. And a big handoff up the middle to the number 3 of Carson Nida, and he looks like he's taking it down the sideline, but he is brought down finally by the number 1 of Josh Ferguson of the Symmes Valley Vikings. But a huge gain once again by the Panthers. They'll be deep into Viking territory in the red zone. 1st down right around the 11-yard line. The Viking defense not having much luck with stopping the big run. Donald Richendaler up and under center. And it's going to be a delay of game penalty on the Panthers. Set them back about 5 yards. Richendaler back up under center. And it looks like Carson Nida with the carry up the middle. Brought down by a boatload of the Vikings. Gain of about 4 on the play. It'll bring up second and about 11. Carson Nida in the backfield. And it's a good carry for some gain on the yards. Harless with a carry for the Panthers. Tackle made in there by Mullins. Caleb Mullins, number 2 of the Symmes Valley Vikings. Panthers come up to the line in the Viking red zone. And it's a handoff to the number 4 of Will Todd as he brings her down, and he's hard to be brought down, but finally brought down by Jack Leith and Josh Ferguson on the play. But it's a gain of several good yards on the play, but it's going to bring up 4th and about 2. Viking defense needing to make a big stand here. Try to keep the Panthers out of the end zone. But the Panthers have been doing a good job here this evening here, putting it in the end zone. Oh, there's a fumble on the play, but Richard Dollar picks it right up and takes it into the end zone on the outside. It's going to be another touchdown for the Chesapeake Panthers. Wilson will be setting up to kick for the Panthers here for the extra point. And the kick is up. And it's good. And the Chesapeake Panthers still putting salt in the wound here. It's going to be, they're taking the lead of 35-0 here with the second quarter of 2:34 left. We'll be right back here on the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And we're back here in Willow Wood, Ohio, here out of State Route 141 here in Lawrence County with this backyard game here of the Symmes Valley Vikings and Chesapeake Panthers. But the Panthers have made a dominating effect here in this game with a lead of 35-0 with 2:34 left to go in the second. The Vikings feeling like they may have that Friday the 13th curse on their back today. Hopefully get some momentum turned around and get some things changed here to get some points up on that board. Wilson set up the kick for the Panthers. Leith is back deep for the Vikings. And it's Josh Ferguson is also out there. He picks up the ball and he's bringing it for back a return. And he's brought down right around the 35. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. He's brought down by the number 32 of Marcus Burnside. And Hicks brought him down. Let's see if the Viking offense can pick up some momentum and bring it back down the field and hopefully get some points up on the board this round. Viking offense up to the line.
Come on, you used to know this in practice.
Leith up under center. Neese in motion, but it is pitched out to Neese. Derek Crum, and it was dropped on the ground there, but they was still recovered. Derek Crum recovers the fumble. Short loss on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and long for the Vikings. Handoff from Leith to the number 1 of Ferguson. He is fighting for the yardage. And it looks like he's going to gain a couple on the play. He looked like he was brought down by the number 54 of R.J. Ward for the Panthers. It'll set up 3rd and 13 for the Vikings. Panthers with the stop up the middle of the field. I believe that was Jack Leith with the keeper. Brought down by the whole center of the Panther defense. A gain on the play, but it only brings them up to the original yardage of a 4th and 10 for the Vikings. And the Panther defense doing their job tonight, making the stops they need. Leith back to punt for the Vikings. Harless with the fair catch. And the Panthers are going to take over 1st and 10 right around the 32-yard line. Now the Panthers with the lead of 35-0 here in the 2nd quarter, and about 10 seconds left in the first half. And it looks like the Panthers might just take a knee here and go into the 2nd half. And they do, and the Panthers will go into the locker room here this evening here in Willow Wood, Ohio, with a lead of 35-0 here at halftime. And hopefully the Vikings will go in and regroup and figure out what they need to do to get back in this game. And as halftime takes effect here, we'll be back here with the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And we're back here tonight here at the Willow Wood, Ohio, here in Lawrence County, Ohio, between this varsity high school matchup between the Chesapeake Panthers, the visiting Panthers, and the home Symmes Valley Vikings. We'll be kicking off the 2nd half here, but the Panthers are leading 35-0 here in this game. The Vikings been having struggles trying to get the ball moved downfield into the end zone, with the Chesapeake defense being very strong here tonight. Pretty much dominating the Vikings there, stopping them on almost every drive, having to punt. The Panther offense has been also dominating here this evening. They've marched the ball down. Each time they've had to put it into the end zone with, I believe, no punts at all in this game. So the Symmes Valley Vikings are getting their orders and marching out onto the field. The Chesapeake Panthers will be kicking off to the Symmes Valley Vikings here to start the 2nd half. The number 1 of Josh Ferguson will be back deep for the Vikings. The number 29 of Ethan Patterson back deep for the Vikings, and also the number 7 of Jack Leith back deep. The number 8 of Wilson will be kicking off for the Panthers here to start the 2nd half. Wilson set up for the kick. And the kick is off. Going over to the number 29 of Ethan Patterson. Patterson looking for a good return and gets about 12 yards on the carry. That'll set up the Vikings with a good yardage area to start off the 1st and 10, right around the 26-yard line. Panthers have put in some of their JV players. Jack Leith with the keeper, coming to the outside. And he makes a few blocks, misses, and he's pushed out of bounds by the number 2 of Logan Walsh. To bring up 2nd and 4 for the Symmes Valley Vikings with a gain of 6 on that play. Leith under center.
He's got to block the linebacker.
With the handoff to the number 1 of Josh Ferguson. Short gain on the play. Stopped in there by Will Todd and some friends of the Panthers. The number 9 of Grayson Walsh is into the game. The sophomore for the Panthers. Jack Leith with a quarterback keeper up the middle, and he's going to be good for Symmes Valley. 1st down. Vikings coming out strong here in the 2nd half. Vikings set up with a 1st and 10. And it's a handoff to the number 4 of Derek Crum, but he is stopped at the line.
You can't stop the run, Crum. You got to hit the hole.
And he is met up by the big number 70 there, Hunter Blackburn. And be no gain on the play. The number 3 of Luke Leith in with the play for the Vikings. The Vikings set up 2nd and 10. Handoff to Levi Neese, but he's brought down hard by the number 54, R.J. Ward. And I believe that was the 56th of J.T. Henry in there on the tackle. Well, no gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Vikings. Needing to get up to around the 50 to get this 1st down. Leith with the ball, steps back for the pass. And it's going to be intercepted by the Panthers. And I believe that's Thomas Symmes of the number 12 for the Panthers comes up with the interception. And it'll be a turnover from the Vikings, and the Panthers will take over 1st and 10 on the Viking side of the field.
Intercepted by Symmes. Panthers will take over about the 46-yard line.
Panthers will take over on the 46 of the Viking field. Thomas Symmes out wide here for the Panthers.
Richard Dollar on the carry.
Richard Dollar on the carry. Gain of about a half a yard on the play.
Symmes Vikings in on the tackle.
Tackle made in there by a boatload of the Symmes Valley Vikings. It'll bring up second and about 9 for the Panthers. And it looks to be a fumble on the play. And the Symmes Valley Vikings are going to recover the fumble, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for Symmes Valley, showing some life in that defense. Defense making a big cover there. Needing to keep that ball in their hands so they can get some points on the board. And the Vikings rush up to the line. About 6 seconds to go on the play clock. And Leith is back for the pass, but he's being chased down by the number 3 of Carson Nida and brought down in the backfield.
Jack Lee tackled in the backfield by Nida.
Luke Leith was open downfield, but Jack was getting rushed in the backfield and could not see him down there. So it'll bring up a loss on the play of 2nd and long for the Vikings. Christian Gilbert out wide here for the Vikings. Luth with the pitch back to Patterson, and he's got some open field. He's going to actually get down to the field here on this side, and he makes a good break of the tackle, and he's finally brought down right around the 20-yard line there. He's tackled there made by Thomas Sentz, but there is some laundry on the field. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty against the Panthers. So that's automatically going to give the Vikings the 1st down over in Panther territory. The Vikings will be deep into the Panther red zone on around the 10-yard line. Looking to hopefully get this marched in and get some points on the board here in the 3rd quarter. Leith under center. Handoff to Crum, having some opening, but he is brought down by the number 2 of Logan Walsh. Vikings with a 2nd and goal here. The number 1 of Josh Ferguson punches in for a couple of yards on the play. He's brought down by several of the line of the Panther defense. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal here for the Vikings, which are deep into the Panther territory. Right about 8 yards to go to the goal. And it seems like the Vikings are going to call a timeout, so we'll be right back here with the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. We're back after the Viking timeout here with 4:17 left to go in the 3rd, with the Vikings challenging the Panthers to get into the end zone. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal right around the 8-yard line. Vikings looking to get on the board here, first time in the game. It's the deepest they've been here this entire game. Hopefully they can count it in and get some points on the board. And Jack Leith breaks free. He's going to the outside. And it looked like he slipped on the carry. Got a good gain out of the play. It's going to bring up 4th and goal right around the 1 yard line. So you'd hope the Vikings will take the chance and go ahead and try to punch this in. They're 1 yard out. Worst case scenario, they'll put the Panthers deep in the end zone there. So it looks like the Vikings are going to keep the offense on the field. Vikings looking to punch it in and get the first points of their night on the board. Leith with the keeper, looks to shove it in. There's no call by the referee just yet. And that is a touchdown, Symmes Valley Vikings on the board tonight. 3:02 left in the third. So momentum picked up here for the Vikings here in the second half, getting some points on the board. Still a long way to go, but definitely a good start. The number 51 of Gavin Yates will set up for the kick for the Vikings. Try to get that an extra point there on the board. And it's a bad snap. And the kick is picked up by the Panthers, but it's still brought down. The extra point is no good. Logan Walsh with the pickup. Vikings stopped him from marching it all the way back down. But still with 3:02 on the board for the third quarter. Vikings on there, 6. Panthers 35. Vikings set up to kick off. Gavin Yates, the number 51 of the Vikings, the kicker for the Vikings. That's Carson Nida, Will Todd, and Walsh back deep for the Panthers. It's going to be a onside kick. And let's see who's going to be coming up with the ball here. And it looks like the Panthers did cover the onside kick. So they'll have the ball 1st and 10 with 2:57 left in the third quarter. Donald Richendaler up under center. Hands off to the number 5 of Harless. And the Vikings stop him. Caleb Mullins in there on the tackle for the Vikings. Short loss on the play. Bring up 2nd and long for the Panthers. Harless, a senior for the Panthers, had an excellent game here today. One of the first times he's had a loss on a play. And the number 4 of Will Todd with a big carry. Brought to the outside, but brought down by the number 7 of Jack Leith. But that's going to be into the Viking territory with a first down for the Panthers. Richendaler with a hold. He takes the pass. It is complete to number 12 of Thomas Sentz. But they're saying he had stepped out of bounds there before he completed the catch. So is it going to be brought back? So it's going to bring up 2nd and about 10 for the Panthers. Richendaler back up under center. Oh, and he's met in the backfield quick by the number 75 of Kason Adkins. That livened up the Viking fans. That'll put the Panthers back on the 50 with a 3rd and long. Panthers offense up to the line. Richendollar with the keeper. He's brought down by Leith and the number 75 once again of Kason Atkins. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Panthers. 4th and a long 6. Panthers are going to go for it, keep their offense out on the field. And Richendollar with the keeper. Makes it to the outside, brought down by Jack Leith, but it's going to be very close to a 1st down. Like we might have to call for a measurement. And we are. We're going to call for a measurement. Vikings hoping they hold strong here and hopefully get the turnover.
Let's give a big shout out to our Lady Viking cheerleaders. These ladies work hard every day. We're always proud of them. Symmes Valley Lady Viking cheerleaders. Ladies and gentlemen, we forgot to wish a happy birthday to Carly Salmon too. We apologize, but happy birthday to Carly Salmon for her 18th birthday.
And it looks like it's going to be a 1st down by just a couple of inches for the Panthers. And the Panthers offense is going to stay on the field. It'll be 1st and 10 for Chesapeake. Richendollar with the snap. Hands off to the number 4 of Will Todd. And he's brought down. Ethan Patterson in there on the tackle for the Vikings. And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter with the Vikings on the board with 6. The Chesapeake Panthers 35. We'll be going into the 4th quarter. And we'll be right back here. We are the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And we're back here at the start of the 4th quarter. Chesapeake Panthers making a gutsy call early and going on 4th down, but they come up to the 1st earlier. Right now it's 2nd and about 6, but they make a good call up the middle with the number 2 of Walsh making a big carry. And that's going to be good enough for another Panther 1st down. Gavin Yates for the Vikings in there on the tackle. It's a hurry-up offense for the Panthers. It's a keeper by Richendollar. And he's still marching forward. Still takes several of the Viking defense to bring him down. Marching it way down inside the 10-yard line. The Vikings defense have a little trouble with the outside here, stopping the plays. Panther offense setting up 1st and goal on their Viking 5-yard line. Richendollar under center. Hands it off to the number 5 of Harless. And he's brought down by several of the Symmes Valley Viking defense. Looks like Luke Leith in there leading the pack. A short loss on the play will bring up 2nd and goal for the Panthers, just outside of the 5. Handoff. No, it's a keeper to the outside. Richendaler takes it to the end zone. Touchdown, Chesapeake Panthers. Donald Richendaler with a good fake up the middle. Kept it, took it to the outside, tricked the Viking defense, and he was able to put it into the end zone to add to the score up to 41, Vikings 6. Wilson for the Panthers will be setting up for the extra point. The kick is up, and it's good. So the Chesapeake strike again with 42 points in the 4th quarter, and the Vikings are 6. With 10:35 left to go, we'll be right back here to the game of Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Wilson set up the kickoff for the Panthers. Back deep for the Symmes Valley Vikings is Josh Ferguson. And Patterson picks up the return. And he finds a lane to run through. He's got some yardage to run. And a great return by the Symmes Valley Vikings, Patterson. The Vikings will set up a 1st and 10 on their own 35. And it's going to be a timeout, Chesapeake Panthers. We'll be right back here in Southern Ohio. We are the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And we're back here to the game here with 10:08 left in the 4th quarter. Chesapeake Panthers leading the Symmes Valley Vikings 42-6. The Vikings have the ball now, 1st and 10. Looks like both sides have turned in over mostly to their JV team here. Number 33 of Wyatt Owens with the carry for the Vikings. Brought down by the number 62 is Zach Stapp. No gain on the play, bring up 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Number 12, Alec Beckett under center. And it was Derek Crum gets tackled in the backfield. I believe that was Thompson and some friends in there on the tackle for the Panthers. Short loss of the play, going to bring up 3rd and about 11 for the Vikings. Beckett with a handoff. Levi Ross with the carry. Number 14 for the Vikings.
Tackled in there by Seth.
He was tackled in there by Step for the Panthers. That's going to bring up a 4th and long for the Vikings. Walsh and Harless back deep for the Panthers. And it's going to take a Viking roll for the punt from Jack Leaf. And it'll be down right around the 34-yard line. Panthers will take over 1st and 10 on their own 34. Hey, buddy. JV Panther offense comes up to the line. Levi Best hands off to Grayson Walsh with a big carry.
Grayson Walsh on the carry.
Gain of about 9 on the play, going to bring up 2nd and a long 1 for the Panthers.
Gary Jones on the tackle.
Number 35 with the carry. Ian Hicks there for the Panthers. Big carry over into the Viking territory. Looked like he was brought down by Wyatt Owens and some friends. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Chesapeake Panthers. Hand off to number 32. That's Marcus Burnside.
Burnside on the carry.
Gain of a few yards, but there's a flag on the play, and it's going to be holding on the Panthers. That'll bring the Panthers back to almost the original line of scrimmage. So still 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Levi Best under center. And there's the handoff to the number 28. That's Isaiah Willis.
Willis on the carry. Tackled in there by Wyatt Owens.
Tackle made in there by Wyatt Owens and Derek Crum in there on the tackle. It's going to be 2nd and about 2 for the Panthers. And Burnside with a carry up the middle, and he's going to go all the way to the end zone. And it's touchdown Chesapeake. Marcus Burnside found the lane and took it all the way to the end zone for the Panthers. That'll boost the Panthers up to 48-6 here in the fourth quarter with 3:58 left in the game. And Wilson's going to set up for the extra point. And the extra point is good, as now the Chesapeake Panthers lead the game there with 49 with 3:58 left in the game, with the Vikings 6. We'll be right back to Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. We're back here into the fourth quarter here in Southern Ohio here at Symmes Valley Viking Field. With 3:58 left to go in the fourth, the Chesapeake Panthers are 49, the Symmes Valley Vikings 6. The number 8 of Brady Wilson set up to kick off for the Panthers. Wilson having a little trouble setting the ball up on the tee. So have a teammate hold it for him, and we'll get the ball kicked up. And it's gone back deep to, looks like Ferguson with the return. And he's brought down by the number 28 of Isaiah Willis. With this game here, it looks like the Panthers are going to advance to 2-1 on the season, with the Vikings going also to 2-1 with their first loss here tonight. Beckett under center for the Vikings, with the handoff to the number 14 of Levi Ross, but he's met up at the line. I believe that's number 50 of Jacob Belton, sophomore for the Panthers. No gain on the play. Going to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Viking offense up to the line. And the Chesapeake defense just bull rushes through the Viking offense. Levi Neese with the carry, but met right at the line. No gain on the play. Still going to be 3rd and about 10 for the Vikings. Vikings up to the line. Hand off to Ross. And he fights for a few good yards there. Gain of about 6 on the play.
on the carry.
Brought down there, it looks like by Zach Stepp, the number 62 of the Panthers. And it looks like we're going to have a 4th down brought up here for the Vikings. But they've only got 1:10 left here in the game in the 4th quarter, so they're behind the Panthers 49-6. Clock runs up under a minute. The Vikings will come up to the line, looks like one more time. There's the handoff to Ross, but he's once again met up at the line. It will be a turnover on downs. The Panthers will take over right around the 35-yard line on the Viking side of the field. And it looks like they're going to let the clock wind down. Once again, the Chesapeake Panthers are going to advance to a 2-1 record, staying in their OVC league, and the SOC 1 Symmes Valley Vikings are going to be a 2-1 record. Congratulations to both teams putting out a great game here tonight here on the Armstrong Channel. We ask you all to be careful and careful driving home, everybody. We appreciate you watching the game here, and God bless everybody. We'll see y'all next time. We are the Armstrong Sports on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Good night.